Now, in my journeys, I studied Stoicism in the early 90s for quite a few years. People like Seneca, Marcus Aurelius. And I loved it because it also connected with understanding your crown chakra and releasing all your earthly attachments. Being able to let go of old loves in your heart chakra and be open for new loves, because you can't have a new love if you're still holding on to old love. Even when it talks about grief, the idea that grief, a person passes on, you didn't lose them. You don't sit in grief. You give a certain time to grieve the person. In the Roman culture, it was 8 days, and then you let them go because they've returned back. They didn't die, they returned back to where they came from. Well, interestingly, one of the first videos that I saw this morning was from a Stoic YouTube channel that I haven't looked at in years. And it talked about that very thing. And it related it to the Star Wars movie where Anakin is so in love with Padme that he turns to the dark side. Anakin is so in love with Padme and fears losing her that his anger and jealousy and greed for her grows to the point where he's willing to kill all the men, kill all the women, and kill all the babies. Where does that sound familiar? It's familiar because in the book of Judges and other books of the Old Testament, it talks about the fact that because these Canaanite people, the Moabite people, don't love your God, or your men are tempted by these Canaanite women to worship Baal, and you can only love me, Yahweh. They're instructed to go kill all the men, kill all the women, kill all the women who've known a man, kill all the baby boys, and then keep the young women for yourselves as wives. It's the same attitude. It's that same jealousy, anger, greed that holds on to Yahweh, that holds on to people who are in grief for losing someone. You're supposed to have free will. True free will would be, if you truly love somebody in free will, if they choose not to love you, they choose to move on, or they pass away, then you don't punish them. But of course, we know that Yahweh punishes if you don't love him the way that he says that you should be loved. It sounds like a controlling person. It sounds like somebody who's so afraid of losing love that their only recourse is to control you through fear, through anger, through jealousy. You know, there is absolutely no reason a true God should have those emotions that control them, because then that would mean that God has not opened his crown chakra. And if that God has not opened his crown chakra, then that God is not God. That is man. That's all that God would be, is just man. But what we should learn from this is that change is a constant of the universe. People are here and people are gone. But to hold on to them to a point where it causes fear, anger, jealousy, guilt, grief, all that for an extended period of time, is just you not being able to open your crown chakra and realize that change always happens. We're always transmuting from one consciousness to the next, from one thing to the next thing. So learn to let go.